Our lives are changed by history.
We are one people. All of us.
Leaders, politics, natural occurrence.
Good to know you're still with us. Thank you so much for standing by. We'll move on to the next story. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has threatened a nationwide strike as it condemned the failure of the federal government to appoint governing councils for federal universities. The union also faulted what it described as the nonchalant attitude of the President Bola Tinubu-led federal increment for other academics in the illegal, the dissolution of the governing councils, saying it is against the principles guiding the existence. These are their grievances, and they're saying if these are not met or addressed by the federal government, we will go on a nationwide strike. Yes, Dema.
Education is very important for the development of any nation, and the education of the Nigerian citizen should be a top priority of the federal, state, and local governments. For a long time, we've been hearing a lot of reports of this ASU issue or tussle. We need to address it. Taxes are paid. It beats my imagination. It makes me want to ask myself, are we really serious about education? If education is expensive, try ignorance. Ignorance is not the way out. The federal government should see education as a top priority. What you prioritize reveals what is your interest. Look at how much is budgeted for education in Nigeria. Look at other African countries and the budget for education. Can we boldly say that our education budget is up to 20% of our GDP? Can we boldly say that we are funding education is not just building classrooms, building laboratories? There's so you look at investment in maintaining the infrastructure in the universities. You look at so many factors. So I think ASU is making a point that the government should not just stop with making it shouldn't just be about making promises, but delivering. Because education should be affordable. How do we make it affordable when there is a strike? The implication is unbearable. There is a multiplier effect. Some few years ago when there was strike, a lot of most of them fell into drugs, resources that we have. They don't even have so much of human capital that we have. We have the human resources, we have the natural resources. What is stopping us? We can't continue having this friction and this clash back and forth between ASU and the federal government. The federal government should show the will. Where there is a will, there is a way. There should be the political will to make things right. Not better funding. They want, how much is a professor? The government needs to sit up and do something right.
All right, Barrister, let's get to hear your thoughts on the grievances of the ASU.
Okay, when I was in the university, one of my lecturers of blessed memory, he used to tell us then in class, he said, if I had gone to school at the time you people are going to school, honestly, maybe I would have failed or I would have been waffed.
Because
the lecturers themselves, I don't like them because they are worse. They got the university to where it is today Yes, they did. Because you see, students are learning, where they learn from. When I was in school, we perpetually bought, or we virtually bought everything that we used to learn. Students, we did.
But we've had cases of, you can also testify that ASU has been going on strike time and time again, and some of the things that they ask for is better funding of the educational system. So if you say the students are paying for a lot of things that they used to learn, and then lecturers, it's actually their fault when they are fighting for.
Okay, now let me explain to you. When they fight for these things, sometimes they get it in piecemeal. Sometimes, and when it comes, you see these people, how do I put it, they use it for themselves. They don't even, you only hear that, oh, like there are times that NDDC and some other agencies, NDDC, the Petroleum Trust Fund and all of that, they bring in things to help the system in the school. Most of these things, sometimes we don't see it, we only hear. There was a time in my faculty that, I don't know, a big generator was brought in, but we never had lights. Instead, they say it's being used for the dean's office. I don't know how dean's office would use how many kVA generator or staff alone. So we won't, I don't know, they are killing education seriously in Nigeria and making a lot of people run out to other places, other countries to get quality. Now, I was showing a friend of mine, a student hostel in a school, a public school outside this country, and we were comparing to the student hostels we have here in Nigeria. You can't compare. It depends on the state anyway. You can't, even the best states in Nigeria.
It depends on the state of the hostel that you're trying to compare with ours here.
You can't compare. Honestly, you can't. You see where students are kept in a very comfortable and conducive environment. You know that what is making, we suffer in an average Nigerian.
Operators under the aegis of the National President of the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, saying it has concluded plans to address the legality of the mandatory Corporate Affairs Commission for its members in court. The president of the association, Fasasi Sarafaddin, spoke against the directive that was mandating POS operators to the CAC, saying the move had forced the association to seek redress in courts. Sarafaddin asserted that the directive from the CAC violated the provision of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, which explicitly states that the commission has no jurisdiction over individuals not operating as a company. And he said, according to section 863 subsection 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2004, the order to enforce CAC directive on individual POS agents operating under their name is wrong and will be challenged as it contravenes the Companies and Allied Matters Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, which, okay, we're going over that again. Adela, this is a legal matter, and they're saying this is wrong. We're seeking redress in court. You cannot ask us to register. Let's get your legal perspective to this story.
Okay, if we look at what has surrounded the POS business in Nigeria, you see that, okay, there was a time a client came to me and said he fell into the hands of these fraudsters. And I asked him, which account did they use to get the money, to collect the money from you? He told me it's this, the fintech, one of the fintech. I told him, well, if it's from there, my dear, I don't think, but let's try. I don't think you can recover that money, because a lot of times, most of these fintech companies, they register people to own accounts with them. They do not have proper background of the people. No KYC, that's know your customer, and all of that. And no proper down to the POS people. You see that POS business has encouraged a lot of fraudulent activities. Nigeria cannot stand by and watch it go on. Yes, the KAMA have said in section 863 sub 1 that if a business name or a person doing business in his last name or his last name and forename need not register. Okay, the POS people, what do they use to do their business? Because one, we should come down to the banking agencies or the banks that give them license to operate as POS. Now the POS people are crying. I support the CAC. I support what? Yes, I support. Yes, they should go. It's not. It's not against it. Everybody that wants to do business in Nigeria, let me say, if I have my firm as Deborah, I don't need to register it. Or we say Deborah and Olalekon, or Deborah and Ken, or Kenneth. You need not register it because it's in your names. It's in your either your surname and your forename. But when you add anything else, to that, like say, okay, Deborah and Co. Deborah and, or maybe let me say Deborah Solicitors, Deborah this one.
Is that just for lawyers? Because said we lawyers.
No, I'm using it as an example.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what the CAMA says, that if you are doing business with your last name or your last name and your forename or initials, you need not register it. You need not. But where the government have seen that there are areas we need to regulate in this business, the CAMA also says that there should be a register, section 811. Part B of the CAMA, it says that there should be a maintained in every state. So a lot of these POS people, you see they are doing their POS with names that is not their name. And even at that, even you're doing that business with your name, at least the bank. We know that CAC, oftentimes, there are bottlenecks when it comes to registering businesses and all of that. Sometimes it's not swift, and sometimes, but you know, with registering their businesses, we could get their details. You could get the name of the person that you could get the name of the people registering that business. You know, the directors, because yes, a company is a legal person or a legal personality, but there are times when it involves that when it goes down, okay, now we need to unveil who are directors so they can bear liabilities. So now, for the POS people, a lot of them that are into POS operations or whatever the term is, we need to know, we need to have, the states or the country needs to have a list of these people, a register of them, how to locate them, where we need to, who are these people. We need your documents, we need your IDs, and all of those things, so that if there is any issue of fraud, we can trace it back. We can, most of these fraudsters, they carry POS machines around. Most times they tell you, oh yeah, if you don't have one, oh yeah, put your card, and all of that.
We know that POS coming in has actually helped a lot.
Yes, it has.
Because there are so many times when you have to go a long distance to use the ATM. And then when you get there, you have to wait for a long time.
A long queue.
But now we're hearing the fraudulent part of it. So let's get your take on POS.
Yes, I agree with distinguished guests. There should be some control, coordination, and registration. It's very important so that it can help regulate this particular business group or business segment or business, and people who hit those loopholes and defraud people.
All right, the POS has been around for, you wanted to say something?
Yes, what I want to say is that if we also look at the issue of, okay, let's say the chairman of the POS association, the chairman of the POS association, his outcry. Now, if you say that because they are doing business in their name, they should not register. Like, let's say someone is doing POS business in the name of Nkechi, she should not register. How about 10 people using the name Nkechi to do that same business? what happens? Now, you see Kama frowns at using existing business names. Kama frowns at it. So if your name, even the trademark laws frowns at it, you cannot trademark a name that is already existing, or someone is already using. So you cannot register a name that someone is already using. So if this POS operation is left without coordination, without control and regulation, you see that there will be lots of problems, and we'll keep facing what we are facing now with people.
A lot of people are just hearing this for the first time, that there's no regulation with the POS. And the POS has been around for some time. We know that it helped us, especially during the cashless, that period when there was no cash, and then people were running helter-skelter. You can't get money anywhere, even in the bank, there's a limited amount and all that. I know it helped us, and there have been lots of advantages of the POS. But why has this been on for as long as it has been on,